Hey guys, how's it going? I'm back with another video, and this is going to be an album review of the new album from Bullet For My Valentine, and it's called Gravity. Now, Bullet For My Valentine is a band that I've been listening to for a while now. I was never the biggest fan of theirs starting out, but they've really grown on me over the years, especially with hits like, of course, Tears Don't Fall and Your Betrayal. And even songs like Bittersweet Memories, and a lot of stuff off their last album, Venom, which is probably one of my personal favorite albums by Bullet For My Valentine. So I had a lot of high hopes going into this album, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm very disappointed in this album. Let me just go through all the tracks and give you my short, brief opinions on it. I was expecting so much more, considering their track record as being a really good band, and I was just left. It was almost like I was left with a bad taste in my mouth when it was all over with. Anyway, track number 1 is called Leap of Faith. It was definitely a very interesting way to start the album. I mean, Matt Tuck, has a phenomenal voice. I think he's one of the best singers in all of the UK, and that's very high praise. I know, but that's how I feel. I think he's got an outstanding voice, and it really does bring a unique characteristic to the metalcore genre. But Leap of Faith, I don't really care for this one. It sounds like they're going for more of a soft, melodic, synthesizer type deal with this song, and I'm gonna sound like a broken record on a lot of these tracks because, as everyone knows, I'm not a fan of synths and techno in rock music. I only like it if it's used sparingly. So Leap of Faith, no, definitely not my cup of tea. Matt Tuck sounds great, but everything else just doesn't really do it for me. Okay, track number 2 is Over It, which I think was the very first single released for this album. I actually like this song. It reminds me of something that you would hear on an older album. I couldn't really tell you which one, but I like how it's a rockin' song. It's definitely reminiscent of, in my opinion, the old Bullet For My Valentine. The lyrics are very cliche, talking about being over it with a person in a relationship that's, made you mad. The lyrics are nothing new, but, Matt Tuck still sounds really great. His vocal performances on this entire album is actually really good, despite what I have to say about the music. And Over It really showcases that. So Over It's definitely a really good song, in my opinion. Okay, track number 3 is Letting You Go. This was another single released from this album, and this is another song that I really enjoy quite a lot. I just like the overall feel of this song. I like how I like the lyrics. I like how Matt Tuck is able to incorporate a lot of different vocal changes in this song, and I like it. I mean, it's not the best Bullet For My Valentine song I've ever heard by any means, but I like it. I'm not gonna have a lot to say about this album, but Letting You Go is definitely another highlight for me, and I highly recommend it. Okay, the track number 4 is Not Dead Yet. Now, this is where the album starts to take a bad turn for me. Not Dead Yet has some of the most boring lyrics I've ever heard. It's the same old stuff that every rock band uses. It's cliche, it's overused, and I wish they would have come up with something a little more creative along the lines of as far as the lyrics go. musically and vocally, it's nothing new. It's nothing new that we haven't heard from them already. So definitely one of my least favorites off this album, and trust me, there's going to be a lot of least favorites. Okay, track number 5 is The Very Last Time. Now this is probably the most different song on the whole album, because this is not a rock or a metalcore song at all. This actually has a little bit of an R&B type feel to it, and I never would have expected that from a band like Bullet For My Valentine. Now, a lot of you are probably expecting me to crap all over this song, but I actually really enjoy how this song sounds. Surprisingly, I know. But I love the beat. I love the rhythm of it. I love how it really works well with Matt Tuck's vocals in this song. You know, you think it's going to be a really contrast in styles, and it is, but that contrast actually works and meshes very well together. It really brings out the emotional side of Matt Tuck as he sings the chorus, which is my favorite part in the whole song. Really good, and I did not expect that from Bullet For My Valentine, so that's a mix-up and change of style that I actually enjoy. Okay, track number 6 is Piece of Me. I think this was the third and final single released from the album. It's another one that I think is okay. It's not my favorite single. You know, I like how this actually shows remnants of the old school Bullet For My Valentine. You know, the beginning is very heavy with Matt Tuck's unclean vocals, and you know, it's a good song. Like I said, I wouldn't call it one of my all-time favorites on this album, but it's definitely worth checking out if you want to reminisce about the good old days. Okay, track number... I just lost my place. Track number 7 is Under Again. I don't have much to say about this track. I find this track to be just like Not Dead Yet, very boring and bland. I'm not going to lie, the reason I don't have much to say about this album is because I found it very difficult to listen to all the way. I found myself becoming disinterested in a lot of the music. Even on the songs that I actually do like, I still felt that way. This is just a boring album to me. But anyway, Under Again is definitely another one of my least favorites, and I don't have much to say about it other than I find it very, like I said, boring and bland and very generic. So that's my thoughts on that. Okay, track number 8 is Gravity, which is the title track for the album. This is another one that doesn't really mesh well for me. Like I said, it's the same problem throughout the whole album. I find myself becoming disinterested, and there's nothing exciting about it. There's nothing exciting to me about it. It's the same thing over and over again, basically, in my opinion. So this is another song I don't have much to say about. Track number 9 is Coma. Now this is probably my favorite song on the whole album, and that's not saying much. Coma, I like everything about this song. I like the vocals, I like the music, I like the lyrics. It's very catchy. It's got one of the catchiest choruses on the whole album that I really enjoy. This sounds like something that you would hear maybe on the album Fever, or maybe even Scream, Aim, Fire, at least in my opinion. Definitely one of the highlights off this album, one of the very few highlights, I might add. Okay, number 10 is Don't Need You. Now this song was actually released, I think, a couple of years ago, and I find it very odd that they would still go ahead and put this song, Don't Need You, on this album, since it's already been out for a couple of years. My question is, why couldn't this entire album sound like that? Because Don't Need You is definitely the heaviest track on the whole album. Definitely reminiscent of The Poison and Fever, and you know, even Venom. I get a very Venom vibe from this. Definitely another great highlight. And finally, number 11, the closing track, is called Breathe Underwater. Now this is a slow song, kind of a slow pace to end the album off. Again, I don't have much to say. It's okay. I mean, you can really feel the emotion in Matt Tuck's vocals as he performs, but overall it's another song that I don't really enjoy. I don't know what happened to this band. This is an example of another heavy band going the soft route, and I don't understand why bands are doing that now. I mean, I understand you want to try something new and you want to try to diversify everything, but that's not always a good thing. Don't go away from who you are. That's my little rant. Overall, I would give this album a 5 out of 10. And even I think that that's being a little generous. Tracks that I like off of the album would be Over It, Letting You Go, The Very Last Time, Coma, and Don't Need You. My least favorite definitely would have to be Not Dead Yet. Just so boring to me. Anyway, guys, I was hoping for a better album. I want to hear what you guys have to say about it. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Did you feel the same way I did? Leave a comment down below. Subscribe to my channel. And as always, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Take care.